I was listening to a podcast the other day, and there was a really interesting stat where they asked couples who had been together, some had been together for like 6-7 months, some had been together for 30 years. They split them, men and women, split them apart and asked them, rate your relationship on a scale of 1 to 10. And what do you think the answers were from the women and from the men? I'll tell you what, the average answer from the women was 6 out of 10. And the average answer from the men in the exact same relationships, was 9 out of 10. So that shows me and tells quite a story. There's a disconnect in how women view relationships, how men view relationships, how they think we're doing in relationships. And that's what this is all about. All right, it's about the check-in that your relationship needs. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the tools and insights, how to do that check-in, why it's important, and share a list of questions at the end that are super important that you should add in to your relationship check-ins. And I tell you, immediately after doing this, you will notice a difference. So welcome to this video. My name is Kerry, and this is my YouTube channel where we talk about all things mindset, motivation, and manifesting, and how to apply those in your life to become the best version of you and level up in every single area. So that's what I want to talk about today, right? Is that relationship check-in. And what we're going to dig into is using these tools, obviously, to improve the relationship that you're in right now. And if you're a guy, I'm telling you right now, how you think you're doing in your relationship is probably a little different than what it actually is. And that comes from experience, that comes from guys that I know that I chat with all the time through coaching. And I'm going to give you a little hint. Like, so for example, guys, if you want to know if your woman, how much passion and fire is cooking in that passion oven for you, it's in her kiss. It's in the way she looks at you when you walk through the door. It's in the messages she sends you, the spicy selfies here and there. And guys, if you're thinking spicy selfies, what are you talking about? If your woman's not sending you spicy selfies, she's sending them to someone else. Or she's just lost hope altogether in men and not sending them to anybody. But that's something that you can change by using some of the tools in this video today. So, okay, and a quick little reminder that you watching this video today is your sign that what you want is already yours, and you will see it come to fruition in your life very, very soon. And I want to share, I don't know if you can hear in the background, sleigh bells. Welcome to the first week of December in Canada. To be able to do this video outdoors is absolutely incredible. There's a sleigh ride thing going on and everything for Christmas over there. And yeah, I'm telling you, like, to do this outdoors is amazing. So I'd love for you to share where you're watching from in the world in the comments below. But okay, getting right into it. Why is a relationship important? A relationship check-in? Because obviously with that disconnect in the two ratings that I shared, you know, with women rating it 6 out of 10, guys rating it 9 out of 10, there's disconnects there in how we feel we're doing. So if there's that communication isn't there, we'll just continue to beat our head against the wall and frustration. And that's eventually where that resentment comes from and breakups and frustrations and things like that. So, so what you'll get from doing regular relationship check-ins, more trust, more presence, more appreciation, more quality time, satisfaction in your relationships, less arguments, less frustration, right? All of that. And in any area, like think about in your relationship right now, whether you're a guy or a girl watching this, there's probably areas in your relationship where you're like, well, that could probably be a little better. I could use a little more of this or a little less of this. So here are the tools in this video to make that happen. So here's how to start your relationship check-in. Here's how to bring it up. You need to schedule a regular time and date, right? And set a time limit so they know that, okay, I'm not getting roped into a 9-hour woe is me conversation, right? So whether it's half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. Maybe you go for a coffee, go for a drink, like whatever, right? But you actually set a time limit, start and finish, and schedule it on a regular basis. Whether you think you need it or not, schedule it in, because it's important to keep those check-ins. You want to create a safe, comfortable environment, right? One where you can have a conversation. If you're in the middle of a busy coffee shop, maybe there's things that you want to share that you can't share in the middle of a coffee shop. So whether that's finding a great little spot outdoors in December in Canada, or a place, in your house, or go for a drive, go for a walk, find a park bench, whatever, right? But make sure it's an environment that you're both comfortable. It's a place where you can both share and really dial in on each other without any distractions. You want the focus of the relationship check-in to be celebrating each other, right? Appreciation, gratitude, focus on the positives, right? Now there is going to be an opportunity with some of the questions, obviously, that you're going to look for those opportunities to improve and grow, but the focus again is on what is going well and what do you want to do more of, right? So celebrate, appreciate, and gratitude. Another thing, you want to make sure that you're respectful of each other. Okay, take turns sharing, make sure that you're sharing authentically. Listen, there's a whole bunch of things. Listen to, with the intention of understanding, not just for the purpose of replying, right? So hear what they're saying. If you don't understand what they just said to you, and I encourage you to do this, repeat it back to them. So it's like, hey, what I just heard you say is you would like this, more of this. You would like me to do more of this. You would like repeat it back to them. So listen. So important, right? Choose an action item, right? From the relationship check-in. I always say, don't ask the questions if you don't want the answers, right? If you're not prepared to take action on the information that you share and that you get from that relationship check-in, don't do it. Just keep beating your head against the wall, doing the Groundhog Day, and then, in a few months you can watch the video that I have on what to do when you're single and best tips for online dating. So the writing's on the wall. So here's the way that if your relationship's not great, you can bring that spark back, and if your relationship is great, you can turn it into amazing. This tool will help you do that, all right? And then the last thing is finish with gratitude. Again, I mentioned it a little earlier, but focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for? What do you appreciate about that person you're with, right? And end with that and focus on that, because what you focus on grows, okay? So here we go. I've shared this in videos before, but I think that the first thing when we do a relationship check-in is from a point of service, from a point of how can I be better? And there's all kinds of things you can look up. The Gottman Institute has a bunch of relationship questions, check-ins and stuff. Some of them I agree with asking, some of them maybe not. You Google it, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, and coming back to it, there's one that I always encourage people to ask. It's, hey, I know I'm not the perfect boyfriend, husband, spouse, partner, whatever, right? But I want to be better. So what can I do in our relationship to be a better husband, boyfriend, partner, girlfriend, wife, whatever that is? What can I do to be a better this for you? Zip it and listen. And you'd be surprised what you get from asking that question. So that's, I think, the first thing. That's what I would start with. And I ask that question. I ask it, in relationships. I ask it with my kids. I ask it in business relationships that I have. It's so important. Friendships. You really can keep your finger on the pulse of the relationship you're in with that one question. But I promised you I was going to give you some questions that you could also ask that will help out. Now I have some notes up here and down here, so if you see me looking around, that's what I'm looking for. So some great additional questions to ask are, what's really working in our relationship right now? Again, focus on the good. You'll learn a lot about your partner. Maybe some things that they really appreciate and you didn't even realize, oh, I didn't know that they really liked that I do that. Well, that's the way to find out. What's really working in our relationship right now? What are we celebrating? What can we celebrate in our relationship right now? Maybe it's something you've overcome. Maybe it's a milestone. Maybe it's something you used to have an issue with and now you don't, right? What are you celebrating in your relationship right now? How about, is there anything from the last week or month or from the last time you did your last relationship check-in till now that feels unresolved, or that we said we were going to work on or grow on or work with and we haven't made any changes? What is that? And again, be open. Like if you're presenting the information, do it in a calm, non-confrontational manner. And if you're receiving it, be open that this is how your partner feels, right? You need to be open and respectful of that it's a concern they have, because you should be grateful they're actually sharing it instead of just sharing it with all their friends and complaining about you when you're not around. All right? So that's another great question. So next question. When do we feel most close and connected to each other? What a great question. And again, sit back and listen and be willing to share these as well. These are just as much listening as when it's your opportunity to share. And you'll see, and there might be little things. We talk about the love languages, stuff like that, but it'll be super important to connect on those. I don't know if you can hear those noises. I love being out in nature. I mean, just the groundingness of it, but also you get some surprises every once in a while. So, all right. So, do we both feel supported in our lives, right? And is there anything that we can do for each other to make each other feel more supported? right? It could be something simple. The littlest things are the big things, right? I've done videos about that before, but it's important to just have those conversations about what makes your partner feel most supported right now. What do they need? I mean, life ebbs and flows. There's different chapters in our lives where maybe we need more of this, maybe we need more of that. And it's important, again, to keep your finger on the pulse and ask those questions. So, all right, here you go. Here's some biggies. It may be tough to swallow when you get the answer. Is there anything that you feel we've been avoiding? Something you need to have. I'd rather have that conversation with the person I'm with than hear about it from someone else or get the I need space speech, which I have got in my life. And there's a video on that as well. You can go back and watch that. I can link it in the notes below. But is there anything that we've been avoiding, that you feel we've been avoiding? All right, next one, I'm looking at my notes. So it says, is there anything we'd like to be acknowledged or appreciated for? Is there something that that you feel or that your partner feels that is going unrecognized, that they're putting a lot of effort in, that they want to just bring attention to? And the same thing for you. Is there something that you're doing, that you're making an effort to do, that you feel hasn't been noticed? And you just want to kind of table it and say, hey, you know what, I'm trying, right? And here's the things I'm doing. And maybe it is something that they recognize, but they just haven't vocalized it yet. So again, something good to share. I told you I'm firing through with a bunch of these questions. Are we fulfilling our responsibilities and commitments to this relationship? And if not, what can we do to fulfill those? And that could be as simple as duties around the house. It could be emotionally and mentally supporting each other. Maybe it's physical. I mean, there's all kinds of different variables that can jump in on this. So it's such a great question, and that's a big answer in there. And it kind of dives into the next one is how do we feel about our sexual connection, our physical intimacy? Not just the frequency, but how connected do we feel in those moments, right? And what do you need more of? What do you need less of? I'm telling you right now, if you could look at your partner and have this conversation and say, honey, I would love a little more of this, or maybe introducing this, or maybe a little less of this, or whatever that looks like for you, and have them receive it and then deliver, how much better would your relationship be? How much more frequent would you be willing to throw the Barry White on in the background and light the candles, right? Like, I'm telling you, such an important question. And then how do we feel personally, right? Like, and within that, it's like, do we feel like we're living aligned as the people we want to be? And that means in our careers as people, in our contribution to each other, to community, to our family, right? All of those different variables are super important, right? Great question to ask. And I know I'm thumping through these questions. So, how do we feel about how we're taking on the world as a couple, right? How do we operate as a team? And that could be in, again, just regular day-to-day duties. It could be in our growth. Maybe there's business opportunities, stuff like that. Maybe it's as parents, right? How are we co-parenting together? There's a lot of different variables in there. So another great question, right? And there's something crawling around next to me over here in the bushes. I'm not too sure what it is, but that's why I'm looking. Could be a viral video if I get tagged by something. But okay, and then a couple more. Are we on track with our big picture goals? So what is your relationship vision? Where do I know grateful for what is, but excited for what's to come. Where do we want to go with our relationship? Super important to ask that and have those. And again, that's gonna grow. That's gonna change as you evolve as a person and as a couple. So it's another important question. And finish up with just an open-ended question. Is there anything else you want to chat about today that we haven't brought up? What else can we talk about? Is there anything else that that unresolved that we just feel that we want to address? Have those questions, ask those questions, and have that conversation. So that's a little relationship check-in. Every relationship could use this. Your relationship could use it. If you're not in a relationship, here's great things that you could use with your friendships. If you're not in a romantic relationship, you could use these with your friendships, business partnerships, stuff like that. Men, this is where a lot of times where that communication really comes in, because as a man, knowing that these were all questions that I wanted to ask in relationships that I've been in, and I do ask in relationships that I'm in now, and it's important. I just see the difference in the quality of the relationships, and it's so important. Men, you don't have to be frustrated and just be like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to get it, because you can. And if you're looking to improve your skills on that, there's courses that I have. Man to Man is a great course. I'll link it in the notes below. There's stuff on my website and everything about it too. I encourage you to really dive into that. One-on-one coaching, I support people in all kinds of different roles and growth and moving through that. There's more information on my website, kerrykish.com. I'll link it in the notes below as well. But it can be better than what it is right now. That's what this is all about. And you can improve your relationship immediately by applying the things that you've heard in this video. So if you found value in this video, I invite you to please like it, subscribe to the channel. I release a new video every single week. It's about mindset, motivation, manifesting, and how to apply it in your life to become the best version of you to get the most out of life. And that's what this is all about. So subscribe to the channel, share it with someone if you know that they could find value in it. And keep the momentum going, by the way, and watch this next video that's popping up on the screen right now, because it's going to be about mindset, motivation, or manifesting as well. And as always, I appreciate every single minute we share together. So thank you for you and your support for this channel. And as always, until the next video, sending peace, love, and positive vibes your way.